Hi, it's Margaret Marshall, your healthy living expert, and we're here today with Jeanine. And Jeanine has a challenge that she would like to talk to us about. So welcome, Jeanine.
Hi, thank you.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. What's up? How can we help you?
I'm having problems with emotional eating.
Okay.
It's very hard for me to separate my emotions without turning to food and not good food.
And what'd you say, not good food?
And not good food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me what happens. Draw a picture for me.
I get upset about something or anxious about something, and I'll look for chocolate or ice cream, thinking that it'll kind of ease the emotion, and doesn't really do what I need it to do, but I eat it anyway.
And then what happens, Jeanine?
So,
And then what happens, Jeanine?
I just get more depressed after I eat because it's not helping me. So then I get heavier, and it's a vicious cycle.
Okay, I'm seeing your voice and my voice is a little off on this, so we're going to have to just bear with each other here. I don't know, there
Okay.
must be a tough connection. So you have an emotion, you get upset about something, and then you go for, and I'm going to discuss the type of food you're going for in a moment because that's really important when you tell me the type of food you're going. And then it doesn't help, it makes you more depressed, and then do you continue to go for that type of food?
Yes.
Okay, so it doesn't end.
No.
Okay. How would, in a perfect world, Jeanine, what would you like to see happen?
Need to get my emotions under control and find a different outlet.
Okay. That's two different points, and they're both great points. What does it mean to you to get your emotions under control? What does that mean to you?
Not getting too upset or angry, keeping my emotions as under control as I can, and think through my emotions as opposed to putting food in my mouth
Okay.
to subside, which it doesn't do.
No, it doesn't, and it never will. And you
No.
know why? And you know why you don't stop eating? Because you can never feed an emotion.
Exactly.
You just keep eating it, and the emotion never gets full.
Yeah.
So what I hear you saying is that you really want to work through your emotion.
Yes.
And what I think might be happening, you tell me, you need to learn how to feel the emotion.
Yes.
Because I think what's happening is the food either is or in your mind is stuffing that emotion and making it not so real for those few minutes or hours that you're eating. All right, so I think, that's a long-term thing. That's a long-term thing, to try and feel your emotions. And there are ways to do that we can talk about briefly here. We can always do a follow-up video if you'd like to do. But the food that you mentioned, chocolate and ice cream, when we're feeling certain emotions where we need to be soothed, where we need to be hugged, where we need to be cuddled, that's the kind of food we go for, the soft, creamy kind of food.
Yes.
So with the quick fix, and it's truly a quick fix because, Jeanine, like I said, this is a long-term thing to learn how to feel your emotion. But the quick fix is when you're looking for chocolate or ice cream and you're not hungry, because chocolate and ice cream will never satisfy hunger. Not the food we go to when we're hungry. Know that it's a feeling that you need to be soothed for. And how else can you do that? Be cuddled, be hugged, be calm yourself. How else can you do that?
I guess verbalize more of my emotions and the need for that kind of reaction from my husband or my son. To, instead of going for the food, I get hugged, or I figure out a way to substitute the food for a way of healing myself and pushing myself through the emotion, and not trying to, I guess, stifle it with the food.
Okay.
Because it's scary. I don't always want to feel the emotion.
That's the issue.
I feel like sometimes I'm going to cry and I don't want to stop. And I may not be able to stop. So by putting food, it calms me down. But it's a negative on the body. So
Yeah, it's going to make you cry in the long run because
yeah,
you mentioned your son, and I know you have a really cute son, and
yeah,
you want to be here and healthy
absolutely.
for him. And
Hmm.
Jeanine, truthfully, if you continue to eat because of emotions, that just might not be.
I
That's
know.
more crying than you can ever deal with.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
I think it's a great idea to look for your husband or your son for a hug. But if they're not available and not available physically, they're not there. And sometimes people just don't feel like hugging at the moment, especially talking to little boys. Um, how can you hug yourself? How can you soothe yourself and
Um,
rely on yourself?
I was thinking of possibly like starting a journal and getting the emotions out that way and just writing what my feelings are, and that will help me. It'll delay my reaction to go get the food.
You know, I think that is a brilliant idea because what happens if you don't get it out of your head, Jeanine, and you go to eat because of it, what happens is one emotion can roll around in your head so it seems like 100.
Yes.
And then that just magnifies everything and makes it worse. So I think a journal is a great idea. How can you start with that right away?
Um, just find a piece of loose leaf and just start writing before I react to food.
Okay. So what I hear you saying, Jeanine, is that you want to act, not react.
Yes.
Okay, so by acting, you're going to be doing something constructive.
Yes.
By reacting, you're going to be doing something destructive.
Right.
So you want to be constructive. The second thing I wanted to address here, and like I said, this is this is a ongoing thing to learn how to feel your emotions. What would be the worst thing that would happen if you started to cry?
Um, like I said, probably not being able to stop crying.
And what would be the worst thing about that?
Um, because then all of my negative thoughts about me will come back into my head. And I have a very poor self-image as it is. So to feed my emotions and get bigger is only hurting myself even more, because then the self-image gets worse. So it's hard.
It is hard. It is hard. And like I said, this is not a 10-minute thing here.
Yeah.
But this is just had this thought in my head. What's the lesser of the two evils? Not stopping eating or not stopping crying?
Not stopping crying.
Because there will be a stop to it.
Yeah.
There will be a stop to it. And probably each time that stop will get closer and closer to the start.
Yeah.
But I think keeping a journal is a fantastic idea. So 2 things here, Jeanine. First of all, keeping a journal.
Okay.
Okay? And
Mm-hmm.
you can discard it. All you got to do is get it out of your head. You can throw
Right.
it out before anybody sees it, but you have to know what you're thinking and know that it's probably not as bad as it is when it's rolling around in your head.
Yeah.
Second thing is, when you're looking for food like chocolate or ice cream or something that's soft and soothing, really stop and say, I need cuddling right now. And if I can't get it from someone else, I need to get it from myself.
Okay.
You can't always rely on someone else. Okay? Now,
Yes.
there's nothing wrong with eating ice cream and candy when it's in control,
Yeah.
but it's not with you.
No.
No. So it's not a food that you want to go to
No.
emotions. Because, like I said before, the lesser of 2 evils is to start crying and not stop than to start eating and not stop.
Right.
So can you think about it that way?
Yes.
And if the first time you start, crying is a release.
Yeah.
Just like food is a release. Crying is a release.
Okay.
But crying is a natural thing that your body will do.
Okay.
So your body cries for a reason.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
What did you hear today that would help you, Jeanine?
really thinking about what I'm going to, do and start, find an outlet, find my son or find cuddle time for myself, writing out my emotions. And if I have to cry, I cry, and not always run for the food.
Okay, because the food right now in that situation is your enemy.
Yes.
And when you're feeling down, who on earth would go to their enemy?
Very true. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You want to do a follow-up and let us know how you're doing with that?
Sure, no problem. That
Like
would
in
be great.
about a week or so, we'll set up another segment and just let us know. Like I said, this is not something that changes overnight, but every
Right.
small change leads to a big change.
Okay.
Would you do that?
Yes.
All right. And in the interim, there's your phone. Start right away keeping a journal. Watch the food
Sure.
for.
I'll start tonight.
You'll start tonight. Okay,
Yeah.
and our sound is a little bit off. I'll work on that for the next one.
Okay, no problem.
And I'll set up another meeting and we'll see how you're doing because we're going to check
Okay.
in on you.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
We care, Jeanine.
Okay.
All right, thanks. Have a great evening.
No problem.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.